So guys, there we are again. It's TongFu versus Victory Lord. I repeat myself for those people who just joined the stream. This is a best of 3. It's the beginning of the playoffs. It's the first round. It's double elimination. 4 teams will be picked. EP and Newbie, they just choose which one is actually in the 4th place position and 3rd place position because they play the tiebreakers. No, 5th and 4th position, I mean. But apparently the format says that TongFu can choose their first enemy, but I thought they can choose it out of the 4 teams. Apparently it's so that they can choose even out of the tiebreaker matches. So that's at least how I assume it, because otherwise it would also mathematically not make any sense. So that being said, guys, best of 3, TongFu versus Victory Lord. I'm not sure if the betting sites added it, if not, but you don't need to bet on games to actually enjoy and watch them. My name is Heflamoke, casting here with Mr. GrandisV. Let's go into this, because the good teams are now filtered out and promising Dota incoming.
Yeah, it should be a good series. Both of these teams finished in the top 1 and 2 slots. As far as the full round robin is concerned, Victory Lord did lose against TongFu during that round robin, but both of these teams are more than capable. It should be entertaining. We're going to see a first pick Leshrac coming up from TongFu after the Storm Spirit, Undying Tusk, and Winter Wyvern would banned out. Pretty par for the course. These heroes that we're seeing right now are pretty much the same ones that we're going to be seeing every single game, but in different arrangements on either team. It's going to be an Earthshaker Shadow Fiend opener for Victory Lord.
Yep, Tusk and Undying, the pain is out, but it's as usual for these, like yesterday, the day before, it was always like that. If Undying Tusk is out, they're gonna get a Clockwork, or in either combination, we always saw one of those 3s. When it comes to the cores, Shadow Fiend, Leshrac, Gyrocopter, Queen of Pain, the most picked heroes. The same for the Earthshaker. Only, I think, about a 50% pick rate is the Witch Dog for this tournament, I guess. But yeah, so the first picks are relatively predictable. We have to see if they ban out the Queen of Pain here. Because Victory of Lord, they already played the combination. But also for TongFu might be an option. Then again, I'm not really sure if you want to go for double magic.
Yeah, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. As far as how these heroes match up right now, the mid lane is going to be Shadow Fiend versus Leshrac, and in a vacuum, Leshrac does very well in that lane and potentially can get solo kills, but with an Earthshaker behind him, making that effectively a 1.5 lane for the Shadow Fiend, offering fissure support, the Leshrac has to be very careful, and it's going to be a matchup that you're going to see time and time again. And another hero you're going to see in this, I don't know, early picking stage dichotomy is the Clockwork, which is going to be going for the off lane. On the Dire side, Clockwork so much better, as you can very reliably get cog blocks on creeps to keep your lane equilibrium back, and is also a good matchup up against the Earthshakers. So both teams, I think they're pretty much on even footing when it comes to these first couple picks. As far as the bans are concerned, Lycanthrope Lina from TongFu, interestingly enough, the Lina would have comboed nicely with the Earthshaker and is very scary to go against when you are Leshrac, but the Lycan is more interesting, at least to me.
Yep, absolutely. So let's see if we're gonna see Queen of Pain. Nope, we're not gonna see it. Techies again being banned out, and the Spirit Breaker comes now on Victory Lord's side, which is actually good because you already have the Earthshaker out. There's not much that can go against the Space Cow, not much that can actually stop him right now. I would assume we're gonna get a physical core now, which would be the Gyrocopter. Bloodseeker is an option now. That's also very, very popular in these matches so far. So Bloodseeker, Shadow Fiend, Earthshaker, Spirit Breaker. Actually, that's a combo I can definitely see happening.
Yeah, the only issue is that it is going to be Bloodseeker paired with a lot of melee heroes against a Clockwork Lesh. So the Bloodseeker could end up just getting kited around and really not being as effective as he'd like to in the team fights, with so many barriers being thrown between Fissure and Cogs. So, I don't know. Me personally, I'd probably rather see Victory Lord shy away from that Bloodseeker and maybe pick up something else. A little bit more range as their secondary support to follow up the Earthshaker, but there's still plenty of time for them to consider their draft. As far as TongFu's heroes are concerned, this should be their 3 cores, although it is possible to see a support Lesh run. You require setup for it. It's just not worth it, I don't think. Instead, Victory Lord will pick up the Lion. It's a reliable stun, and in general, just a good hero to have, although it's not the Lina that they might have wanted, maybe a little bit more for more reliable nukes. The Lion Finger of Death is going to be great. It focuses down on Leshrac and Gyrocopter. Very squishy, especially pre-BKB.
Yep, pre-BKB, that's something you can easily get them down, especially if you have the Spirit Breaker opening, the initial bash, and then destroying, maybe if you got the levels already. and then some 17% bashes here and there, the finger just for good mashes. Or we have the Earthshaker in there, and I mean the Lion as such is also like a disable bomb. That's something we definitely want to see in this game. We need another support, something roaming for TongFu. Like all of these teams so far played something that can actually roam. As I said, the Spirit Breaker is out, the Tusk is out, so what is this actually gonna be?
I'm not exactly sure what TongFu are partial to when it comes to his roaming supports. I'd love to see an Ogre Magi, but I don't think we will. What's actually available for them? The safe pick right here would probably be something along the lines of a Witch Doctor, although there are a lot of ways to cancel out that channeling. Instead, it's going to be a Shadow Shaman. He's going to offer a large amount of disable to keep the Shadow Fiend at bay, and also a nice amount of pushing power. It's a reasonable pick for TongFu.
It's the first time I see the Shadow Shaman. I don't know, you guys casted the HeflaTV 2 channel yesterday, the 4 games there. Did they like pick Shadow Shaman?
No, and we didn't have TongFu on any of those games either.
Yeah. So, no, because then the Shadow Shaman is actually a first-time pick in this tournament here. Because I didn't have
it should be interesting. It is a hero that is picked up every once in a while, but has fallen out of favor. Speaking of heroes that have fallen out of favor, it's a Troll Warlord for Victory, O Lord. This is a very scary hero in combination with the Spirit Breaker and Shadow Fiend. That extra attack speed steroid can be absolutely ridiculous and offers them a lot of tower pushing power and fighting potential too. TongFu are going to pick up their Dazzle as their last, but in general, I think Victory O Lord's heroes mesh quite nicely. The biggest issue is the Spirit Breaker going towards the off lane. He might have quite a lot of trouble. The Gyrocopter, Shadow Shaman, and Dazzle is a very potent lane.
Yep, and that being said, guys, we go into the game. Seems like no pause whatsoever, so let's just introduce the teams really fast. On TongFu side, we have Xing playing, or XingQ playing on the Gyrocopter. In the mid, we're gonna have Mr. Fu on the Leshrac. Then Kabu, actually Kabu played yesterday twice Pugna, for example, and he was in super PvE mode. Like, they were fighting all the time 5-on-4, and he was just going for Nether Strikes plus. Amazing play around the Nether Ward. He had like some good positioning with that one. LPC is behind him right here on the Dazzle, and Mr. Sex Bingo, that's what she said, is on the Clockwork. And
a quick introduction for Victory O Lords. It's going to be HHC playing on the Spirit Breaker. The rest of the players, Shadow Fiend, going to be played, I believe, by Luffy. Him going to be playing, or the Earthshaker. The Lion is going to be handled by Lion. Sorry, bud, I can't read your name. And Choi going to be playing the Troll Warlord.
Yeah, the name is still complicated. We tried earlier to find out like who is who, but it's, I don't know, sometimes they mix it up. And even with Yuff, it's where we found out the name, and Sis, they swapped heroes and lanes and positions within the team, so they're very flexible here. Let's see if we go for a 50-50 bounty split. At the moment, it really looks like it. So top is going to TongFu, while bottom is easily secured by Victory O Lord. They have this ward. This ward gives vision onto the rune, and also, of course, some rotations. And the good thing is also you cannot go for the double pull through the trees. That is something. Of course, the downside is you can still go for a double pull here. We have to see if the Clockwork has some countermeasures with it. I mean, he himself can actually block the entire creep wave now, which it looks like he's gonna do. Nope, he's gonna miss one creep, and another one is even going the other way around. So that was kind of a tiny misplay. Also on the other side, they're a tiny bit blocking, so it's range creep versus 1 melee creep.
Even though the Clockwork doesn't get all of the creeps back there, it's still more than enough to pull the equilibrium back. That said, there's a pull available to the Lion, so that's not going to hold for much longer. The Shadow Fiend got pulled a Sentry and a Ward, but up towards top, Shackles onto the Spirit Breaker with the Rocket Barrage damage. Might be enough, they need any sort of follow-up, but the Dazzle is too far away, doesn't have Poison Touch or anything to contribute there. Although it's some nice Wrath damage onto the Barrow.
Yep, by the way, it's not the first time we see the difference in the Rocket Barrage damage. I mean, it's a nerfed ability. It still has eventually on 4 points the same value, but the biggest problem is really that like the first some points into it, they carry a lot less damage, and it's the second time today I actually see a First Blood, for example, not happening because the Rocket Barrage was just a tiny bit too few damage.
Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty then, back into this game. We're just going to play a very passive game for the most part. Although the Earthshaker is going to be sitting behind mid. Unless Shrek gets aggressive, he's probably not going to end up dying, as long as he keeps the lane under control. Now that he has almost enough gold for the bottle, and the Shadow Fiend has his bottle, mid lane's mostly just spam fest. Top lane is probably the lane that I'd expect to be most likely to give up First Blood if the Spirit Breaker gets caught out again, but really this looks like everybody's just going to stay very static inside the lanes.
Yep, absolutely. At the moment, top, well, there's a lot of pulling going on. They cleared the ward that was actually planted by the Spirit Breaker, so Spirit Breaker definitely not going to be happy in this one. He is, at the moment, sitting on the rune. I'm not sure if he secures it for the Shadow Fiend or not. It looks like he's going to not pick it up. That's a haste rune. Actually, he picks it up, and the Lion gets the bounty rune, so at the moment, Shadow Fiend says, like, yo, boys, I'm absolutely fine here in the mid. I rather Bottle Crow or something. He only has, like, one charge left.
Let's see if Barrett can get the 17%. If he does, the Hasted Spirit Breaker does so much damage with that bash, but I know, not going to find that onto the Shadow Shaman, so he's just going to waddle around, potentially going on mid, going to charge up the Lesh, but I think U9 should know about this. He doesn't stop, he's going to go straight under tower and then run away, but with the Lightning Storm and the tower shots, it's going to be dropped incredibly low. They need just a little bit more damage to survive with 42. He does have the Lightning Storm, but he can't get in range. He's not fast enough. Boots on the Spirit Breaker, no boots on Lesh.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I actually thought he has the boots already or anything around those lines, along those lines. But yeah, the Lightning, it would have been in range. In the end, it didn't really go for the Spirit Breaker. He buys everything he needed and then just suicides to the Ancients. Easy ticket home, and then he can just charge top back to the lane to grab some more experience. That's at least how it looks like at the moment. We have a smoke in the mid, so Mr. Spirit Breaker is looking for something to get maybe that triple raise into the Leshrac. A Leshrac with only a Null's Talisman, 2 branches. Level 2 raises, I guess it could be enough.
It could be. It's really going to rely on Leshrac getting caught out in an awkward position, though. If Leshrac doesn't die here, it's a lot of time used by the Spirit Breaker where the Clockwork's getting experience. But let's see if this charge succeeds. U9's going to be back under his tower. The charge is going to connect, but the Fissure's wide off the mark, and this is going to completely fail. The stun by Leshrac is going to be wide to the left, but HHC's still taking a lot of tower shots. This is going to be another trip that he has to take back to the well.
Yep, so still no first blood here, 4 minutes into this game. These ganks into the mid, they just won't be successful, seems like it. And the Spirit Breaker now also in a position where he's so low that he can't really show. She's just soaking the experience range pretty much from those creeps who die under the tower, but nevertheless the tower is gonna take a lot of damage.
Yeah, and the Spirit Breaker can't sit here comfortably at all. In fact, if he gets caught out by the Gyrocopter, this is a kill. HHC is on no HP, and the Gyrocopter is faster. He's going to charge him, but the Rock Brush damage, he gets it. First blood drawn by ZinQ. That's so greedy. Is a level 2 Spirit Breaker to try to soak experience there, and his tower's going to die too. Top lane's an absolute disaster for the Victory Online side. Not to be unexpected, though. It's a Spirit Breaker against a triple ranged lane.
We have, however, a visible Lion in the mid, so hacks into Earth Spike, actually from the low ground. That might be interesting. There is a Fissure stunning him in place. What's coming out first? Yeah, there's the Hex, there's the Earth Spike. They're gonna get the revenge in the mid still. With a tower follow up top, TongFu definitely having the slight advantage here.
Yeah, because Clockwork's ward over the bottom marine spot was denied or destroyed by the Victory Online side. That's going to be a very clean rotation, and a pretty nice one too. That said, the Clockwork's still getting a lot of experience in the bottom lane. As far as offlaners are concerned, all he really needs is level. So once we have level 6, that's going to give TongFu a really big tool at their disposal to set up some kills.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the Troll alone can't really do anything to stop the Clockwork. I mean, there has to be a big misplay happening that the Clockwork is actually dying solo to him, and also the creeps. If no one is pulling, even though they had the opportunity, then this is just not gonna happen. They de-warded this camp. The funny part is still, like, the sentry ward is still blocking the camp, so it was really just conquering the vision there.
If you place the ward right on top of this spot, it doesn't actually block the camp. But oh, mid lane Shadow Fiend gets caught out by the Lesh combo and 1 Lightning Storm, 1 auto attack. That's a kill. Very nicely set up by U9.
Yep, he actually did that pretty much solo, and that was even with the Fissure interrupting him. And well, nothing else is really happening. The Dazzle, however, in a position where he don't really want to be.
He places a really deep dire observer ward, and that spots out the Spirit Breaker charge. He's going to be just fine.
That's not a deep dire ward, my friend. Yesterday we agreed, or actually 2 days ago we agreed that this is the temple ward. Like, it's official HeflaTV named temple ward, because that's a temple, that's a ward spot, that's why it's the temple ward.
Very well. I wasn't informed of this decision, but we'll leave it at that. Either way, now down towards bottom lane. The Earthshaker's finally going to pull his self down towards the Clockwork, and if they can isolate him, the Troll could destroy the Clockwork if they can CC him with Battery Assault not going. So let's see if this actually works out.
Yep. And in the mid, well, at the moment the Spirit Breaker is grabbing some experience. What is the Shadow Fiend actually doing? He's still... No, he's actually working on a stacked camp. That's pretty much it. But that's all he can do at this point. Also the Spirit Breaker not taking the offlane. I think he should charge on some of those creeps, because actually... they are entering. But then again, I think the Shadow Shaman is pulling the side now. No, he's not even doing that.
Fissure
He's
in
just
bottom,
like-
the follow-up. Is it going to be there? The Earth Spike, and with the Battle Trance going, they might have enough damage for the Clockwork, just shy. He needed a couple more auto attacks from the Troll. He was able to buy himself enough space.
Yeah, he had stick charges, 7 of them actually, so even if the Troll followed under the tower, he might have actually found himself in an awkward position because Battery Assault was ready, 7 stick charges, and then suddenly you don't even get to hit because of the Battery Assault. The Spirit Breaker getting more and more levels now gets interesting, because 7 minutes into the game, the Nether Strike would have a big impact, especially on heroes like the Shadow Shaman. Talk about the Shadow Shaman, if someone would just rotate in that top line right now, they could go for the Shadow Shaman. Problem is, the Temple Ward, yes, the Temple Ward would actually spot this out, so yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, you should be completely safe. It's really nice that Victory Online have distributed the map resources this way, even though Spirit Breaker had a terrible early laying stage. He's actually on par with the Clockwork, but speaking of the Clockwork, he's isolated. Another Battle Trance going to be thrown, but the turnaround from the Lash, hasted in, U9's going to kill off the Troll and now look for a Lion. There's no hope for him. Into the corner, it's going to be a very easy 2 kills for the TongFu team.
Yeah, the clock surviving. Jesus, on 30 HP and a hasted Lashrock versus a Lion, that's like something where, yeah, your day is pretty much done.
The Spirit Breaker is going to ping out Kabu. The Earthshaker rotating in. This is a dead Shadow Shaman. The follow-up charge, he's a little bit late on it. He's going to get hexed up. That was very awkward. Miscommunication coming out from Victory Overlord.
Now he wanted that level 6, that's the funny part, he wanted the level 6 from the Catapult and then just Nether Strike on it and then go for it, but it didn't really happen in the mid. Oh, he wanted to make the way clear for a hookshot that is actually on cooldown. I thought this was like what he tried to do, but Clockwork being in the mid, not really sure what that rotation is for. The Troll for now, I mean, it was so close on a Clockwork. Def, still, his farm is decentish. Looking at the net worth right now, he is, well, on the 4th position, not too far off from the Shadow Fiend. Of course, the Gyrocopter has an advantage because the Spirit Breaker left so early. Actually, the top is now a charge on the Shadow Shaman. It should be enough with the Hex. Yes, again, the Hex is just gonna do it. No Nether Strike follow-up, which is probably a smart thing to do because the Dazzle is on the sidelines here. He would come in and Shallow Grave. Oh, there is a 10. Hookshot actually hits, and now it is Battery Assault on him. He eats his way through, but with the Lashrock, no, and even the pounce of the Cox, that should be easy kill. These Lashrock rotations are absolutely fine, but the Shadow Fiend is coming in. There is the Hex, the Earth Spike, second raise, and the right click is just gonna get it through. Clockwork, well, he has 4 seconds on the rocket here. What is he actually gonna do? Does he cast a rocket to get the Lion kill? Does he do it?
It's not enough damage.
Oh, no, and it was even off target.
Yeah, only 2 points in the Rocket Flare, 120 magic damage before reduction. He had well above the HP threshold. However, it is a Lashrak for a Troll kill. It's fairly even, but now the Gyrocopter is going to join the fray. Drops the call down, drops the Rocket Barrage, but the damage on his AQ is still huge with 17% royally and huge. The Spirit Breaker gets 2 bashes there. In the meantime, Roshan's going to punch the Earthshaker, but that's about it.
I love it. I mean, the Earthshaker trying to go be fancy, doing the Fissure line pretty much here through Roshan, and Roshan is like, hey, what you doing here? That's my home, and she's just punching him twice. But still, I mean, getting the Gyrocop kill is very, very high value, because he was the net worth leader all the time, and now all of a sudden the Shadow Fiend took over with that nice kill. They didn't capitalize on the tower too much. That's pretty much just the residual damage from the Troll. What's kind of funny is that, like, we have the wards being placed by Mr. Shadow Shaman. He is really the best PvE player Dota has. On the partner, he was like tower pushing. Oh, in the mid, there's a hookshot, finds the Earthshaker, easy kill for the Gyrocopter. That brings him pretty much back in the net worth race for #1.
Yeah, really, all of the farmers on either side are in close quarters when it comes to their farm. Trollwood is lagging behind a little bit, especially after dying twice, but he can farm very quickly, and Roshan is easy to take for the Victory Online side, especially when Shadow Fiend starts picking up a couple more points into the presence of the Dark Lord. They can do it very fast. If they get a couple of pick-off seconds set up for it nicely. Charge down towards bottom is going to be cancelled.
That is, yeah, a Spirit Breaker, you don't want to be in that position. Actually, the supports are going back. We have a hookshot still on 30 seconds. The Dazzle would be here as a backup. At the moment, it's really just a rush like around. Usually, we see a Diabolic Edict 1 point in there just for the pushing value, but that did not really happen. It all happens under a ward. So Spirit Breaker, you try to be sneaky and whatnot, but they see exactly what's happening. As a response, they just go back.
If you take a look at Edict scaling, honestly, the 1 point into it really isn't that impressive. You really want 2 at the very least.
Oh, in the mid. Well, this is more or less just a defensive cooldown. 60 seconds cooldown. That's an easy thing you can just throw out like this. But he might actually regret that he doesn't have it. Because there is... No, there's another charge. And this smoke also not going anywhere.
Interesting. A lot of posturing from both teams. There was a potential hookshot angle, but they decided against going for it. The smoke is going to wear off as the Earthshaker's isolated in, but this is not a spot that you can be comfortable in with the Requiem and a handful of raises. He might get the Earthshaker at the cost of his own life. Shrek will mop it up with the lightning, and now look for the Spirit Breaker, canceling the ultimate, and with another lightning storm, that's a double kill for Unai, and the Clockwork survives. TPing back to base, he's going to live.
This Clockwork is such a lucky bastard. Now the Lion, well, tries to make his way out, but yeah, Split Earth is not really coming out. So it's a 2-for-1 trade. Was so close on at least getting this 2-for-1 trade out on the Clockwork, but surviving on low HP is definitely something the Clockwork can do very well. Troll, also low HP from that mid engagement, has to go back, so it's really just a Shadow Fiend. Rushing a BKB, by the way, nothing else, just a BKB. He's about 200 gold away from it.
It's still going to be a really nice item to have this game, and mandatory too when you're dealing with Shadow Shaman, Leshrac, and the damage from Gyrocopter too. But TongFu gonna go straight to Roshan, but committing the wards. They feel that they're strong enough to take this, even though usually when we see a Troll Warlord, that's going to be a major objective that the enemy team want. It looks like they're going to be able to snag this, although VOL are coming in potentially for a contest. It doesn't seem that they know this is up.
No, and to be honest, it's quite nice. They sacrifice here the little Orc Frost Mage, but after he buffed him up, and with the Frost Armor, with a creep actually tanking it, plus the wards, that's an easy Roshan, also reasonably fast.
And they're going to smoke up immediately after the fact and look towards mid. They're not going to find anybody, however. It looks like the Troll Warlord is spreading the fact that they're probably going to go for this rotation, and well, everybody's backed off, and the smoke is going to be popped out by the Gyrocopter. TongFu find themselves with a nice map objective, and let's see if they can take some towers after it. Tier 1 tower in bottom looks really juicy.
Yep, and talking about juicy, he actually has now a few points in the Diabolic Edict. He skipped the second point in Pulse Nova, because he knows pushing is now what he wants to do. So Diabolic Edict, he could in theory... Yeah, never mind. The cliff is already coming out, so he just waits for the next creep wave, clears it out. It's kind of a waste for the Diabolic Edict. The push should still be fast. The question is now, how fast are they actually top? Because the creep wave is already decimated. The next creep wave is far away. Yeah, let's see if that's actually enough.
In the meantime, top lane, the push is going to be there, but yeah, they're not going to be able to push faster than Leshrac, and the Gyrocopter is also getting some nice farm in mid. This trade is probably going to favor the Victory Online side, but only just. Really, I'm surprised that TongFu aren't just grouping up and barreling down the lane.
Well, at least they got the tier 1 trade, so the Shadow Fiend, the one who needs the most gold besides the Troll, gets even the last hit, so that's all fine. The Clockwork, however, he's in a position now, he thought they're going back, and he wanted to have a hookshot. There was the rocket for vision, but he doesn't know if they're still around, they're actually in their jungle, so Clockwork, he even tried to find someone here on the sideline, but it's not really working. By the way, he has a plate mail finish, which means if he jumps on a target right now, he does really good job. He's actually seen... Oh my god, he might actually run into a bad trap. There is a charge, there is hacks, there is... Oh, even before he gets the plate mail off, that's an easy kill. This was really just him guessing where they are on the map without any vision whatsoever, and his guess couldn't be further off.
I suppose Space Grade for the push down in bottom lane. This is going to cost Clockwork his life, but they get a pretty easy tier 2 tower. Victory Online, although Troll Ward, if you leave him at a tower, can very easily trade. He's not there yet, and Leshrac backing off is going to stop him in his tracks. Leshrac has Aegis and Bloodstone, so this is not a fight that Victory Online really want to take. Clockwork for a tier 2 is a reasonable trade for TongFu, even though it was awkward.
Yep, definitely, and well, that being said, tier 2 tower trade for Clockwork is totally fine. Also, I think TongFu, they feel comfortable right now. Their Gyrocopter is now farming like a mofo, because look at this is gonna be so tasty for him. He has to, I think, still wait for the second flak cannon cooldown, because yeah, that's a bit too much to chew.
Eventually he's going to be able to mow through this, and once he does, that's a large lump sum of gold. He already has the Mithril Hammer inside base. This is going to put him dangerously close to the BKB. A little bit of help from the Hill Troll Priest.
Yeah, I love the Hill Troll Priest. That's the real troll. Just healing like crazy. And yeah, they finally discovered this function here. You can actually, you know, toggle it for auto heal, and then it really heals you up. I love this. It's the first time I see it in... I don't know how many thousand games we casted GrandisV, but it's really the first time.
Well, it is a range creep, and that's pretty much the only requirement for stacking. And after the semi-recent change to Helm, you get 1000 HP on the creep. It's a reasonable creep to have for stacking Ancients. BKB now completed by the Gyrocopter after farming up that large amount of gold.
Yep, I definitely love it. But that's what I love about Dota, man, Grandis. You always discover something new, something you've never seen before. Doesn't matter if you're a player, caster, or just a viewer. Dota is such a complex game. I love it. Talking about complex, don't want to be too complex with the numbers. Just a simple 5k advantage right now on the net worth, as well as a 2.5k advantage for TongFu in experience. That's pretty much it. There's no pushing coming in, but maybe we have a charge into the razors of the razor. The razors of the razor. No. We have a hookshot instead on the Spirit Breaker, and there's just no way he's actually getting out. He's trying to get out of the Cox, but on the other side of the Cox there is a Gyrocopter waiting with a Rocket Barrage, so the easiest kill of his life. He just bought the time the Shadow Fiend actually needed to TP somewhere else, so that one is going. He also has a Regeneration Rune bottled, which means they could, in theory, look forward to a tier 1 push, but then they would get circled around, I guess.
They'll just double raise down the creep wave fairly easily too, and probably back off from there. The Troll is going to ping out for a little bit of reinforcement. If they can kill this Lesh, it's an important kill, but they're going to have to do it twice, and there's a tier 2 tower there with plenty of reinforcements at the ready for the second respawn.
I think this is an attempt of the Troll to actually go for the Lashrock. Alone he doesn't dare, because the Lashrock would just blow him up, especially if Split Earth hits, but there was no charge, no nothing. Actually the charge goes onto the Shadow Shaman, on the Requiem. Oh my god, they don't see him. This is so amazing right there. The Fisher just getting him out. The Dazzle, well, he's already charged, and that should be an easy kill. But then again, there's a call line coming in with the BKB being popped. The Shadow Fiend popping his own BKB and trying to run, but at the moment, oh, the Flak Cannon is just doing so much. And, well, there is even the Diabolic Edict that is piercing damage that should go through. Well, the hookshot trying to get the Earthshaker. It is and remains a 2-for-2 trade. The Troll goes back to farming, but I think they're gonna transition here into a 3-man push on a tier 2, which is already low HP.
Yeah, the Listrak has been still pushing there for quite some time, and as we already saw, the power of the Maxed Out Edict is immense. Listrak didn't get any value from his Aegis, but it doesn't matter. He has 2 more Bloodstone charges, 1400 gold on top of his completed Boots of Travel, which he's going to use to intercept Troll as he's going for the split push, and the Hex is instant shift queued by Kabu. They're going to kill him off. They do commit wards, which might have been unnecessary, but nonetheless, it's a Troll kill, and TongFu will be happy.
Yep, I think with the Lashrock actually rotating in, they didn't need the wards, but I mean, Kabu, he's not very experienced with the PvP part of this game, since he's really just responsible for tower pushes, if you watched him multiple times. Okay, of course I'm joking. It's just for good measures. Just get it up in case the Troll somehow finds a way to juke himself into the trees and TP out, whatever could happen. The wards, even on level 1, it's just a 2-minute cooldown. He has to go back to the fountain anyway. By the time he reaches the next potential tower, those wards will be ready anyway.
Yeah, for sure, and TongFu, with the absence of the Troll, will start applying pressure to the top tier 2 tower. They might be able to take it even. It's already down to less than 2/3 HP, so if there's no immediate contention by Victory Online, or Victory O-Lords, excuse me, they will be able to just mow this one down. The Edict hasn't been popped yet by the Listrak, maybe waiting out for a Glyph. The Glyph isn't available, and they're just going to take it for free.
Yep, Diabolic Edict, there's no way they could actually use something because Cliff still 5 seconds on cooldown. Sooner or later, Victory, although they have to do something against this aggressive push. I know it's kind of hard against like wards and Diabolic Edict and generally advantage on TongFu's side, but I mean, you cannot accept tower after tower dropping like this. And now you actually ran out of towers, so the next towers are tier 3, and at latest at that point they have to fight. They have, I think, everything that's required, because a BKB on the Shadow Fiend, nothing that can actually pierce it except for the hookshot. And talking about it, there is a nice new Observer Ward by Kabu, but Kabu, you are in a very, very dangerous position. If the Spirit Breaker sees you, he's just gonna eat you for breakfast. Then again, the wards, 10 seconds, maybe he's also just gonna own him with those wards, who knows.
With a Hex from the Shadow Shaman and a Blink, I don't think Kabu is in any immediate danger, even if the Spirit Breaker catches eyes onto him. And yeah, as you already kind of alluded to, maybe the inverse is true. The Shadow Shaman is going to go right in solo. Has the Listrak TPing in, going to drop the Shackles, and doesn't even commit the Words Fist. They don't need it. Split going to be right on the money, and HHC is going to bite the dust. But in mid lane, this Initiation Clockwork is shot in onto the Lion. Ward Lion's going to be killed off. The Blink and Echo is going to be there, but no follow-up. Means that it's going to be a big fight for TongFu. Grave prematurely onto the Gyrocopter doesn't really amount to much, but across the map, it's a 3-for-0.
Yep. And I mean, the Troll Warlord was not even part of that fight. He only contributed his ultimate. The Shadow Fiend was part of that fight, but kind of bailed out on his team right away because he had no BKB, or he didn't use even the BKB. So this is now dangerous. I mean, no hookshot. Okay, the Shadow Fiend could maybe get close, but then again, we have a Blink Dagger into a Hex and then into the Split Earth. Whatever else is following. I think Victory Lord, they give up these Rex. There's just no way they hold this.
I think so too. The Blink Echo being spent means that there's really not that big AoE teamfight ultimate that they desperately need. They're going to drop a Fissure onto Xingqiu as well as the follow-up Hex and the Earth Spike, but it doesn't matter. The Edict's already doing its magic. Charge in from the Spirit Breaker, but he's isolated without a team. The Blinking Requiem is going to be pretty nice, but not enough damage to the Shrackless. You will stop. He'll be able to kill off the Dazzle, but that's about it. Even through the BKB, the Edict damage is more than enough to kill off the Shadow Fiend. Jarkov is being chopped apart by the Troll, but with Shackles and with no BKB available, the Troll's going to end up going down. HHC gets another strike kill over onto the Gyrocopter, but is now completely alone. The Split Earth's going to be there, and that's a 2 for 5, and the death of the Barracks soon to follow. Or actually, it fell already.
Yeah, the Rax, I think they were finished off by the Clockwork, who killed the Earthshaker. He just did that before he joined the rest of the fight. It's coming down to the Troll. Okay, that's also a nice consequence. I guess they don't want to have more of this. 22 minutes, 23 minutes, almost 20k advantage. This was not even the updated graph. So, calling GG in a best of 3. Not so sure about it if you should not have mounted a defense here.
I think I'll give it to them. They'll go on and move through the best of 3. Even if they lose the series as a whole, they're not out of the tournament. TongFu going to take a pretty commanding Game 1 victory.
Yep. Okay guys, so that being said, it's a best of 3, it's the playoffs, it's the first round of it, and I think it's also the last game for today, because tomorrow is another day of ESCC where they actually play the rest of the double elimination format. That's at least how we know it. So since it's a best of 3, we go into game number 2 in just a tiny bit.